I might get that tatted.
Man.
Kaneki.
Is it on, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we just chilling.
We're live.
We're live.
Live and direct.
We live and
With
direct.
the podcast.
With the podcast.
You want to talk about what a spiritual awakening is? I feel like that's like a conversation we got for a while.
What a spiritual awakening is.
It'll
definitely be subjective because everybody subjective as in what happens, but what it is.
I figured out a way to generalize it in a way to where other people can understand it, but like I feel like everyone's experience with it is different.
Okay, so all right.
So I would say generally what a spiritual awakening is when you realize that all the stuff in the TVs, all the movies, all these like with what love is, what friendship is, how relationships work, how the real world works, how jobs work, how people work, how loyalty works, how all these things in these TV shows aren't exactly the way that they are, or like things.
So kind of like when you start seeing stuff for what it is.
I feel like it's like this. You're a child for so long, you have no I don't know. Because they don't. They say children don't have a consciousness. Like they don't have that like understanding of what things are. Like a kid doesn't know a stove's hot until he puts his hand on that stove and he's like, "Oh, that burnt me." But just like a human, you don't know. So I don't. That doesn't really make sense to me. So anyways, I just look at it as once you come into like thinking on your own, or not thinking on your own because you're always influenced by other people. But once you start to like think you have your own thoughts and think you like things and think all these things. I think a spiritual awakening is when you start to know yourself. Like when you start to be like, yeah, I used to sleep with a lot of girls, but now, like to me, that shit's not cool. I wouldn't do that no more. And you don't hate yourself for doing it. You understand why you did it and where it came from. And you don't hate yourself, but you just now understand like that doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Or like thinking success is what they put in the movies, like fast cars and a lot of bad women and like all this thing, and it's just like success doesn't have to be that if that's not what you want success to be. Success to you could be just having a trailer and chilling with your family, and that's fine, and that's completely okay because that's your life, and your success to you is going to be what it is. I think that's kind of it too, like understanding that like whatever you want in your life is okay because it is your life. It is no one else's. Yeah. So, yeah, other people are going to have an opinion, but that shouldn't, like, you can't let their opinions fuck you up. Like, you can't allow someone's opinion to be, like, detrimental unless it's, like, a conscious opinion, like something that's, like, oh, you say you want to go get a new car, but your credit's not good, so you know that's going to cost a lot of money in the long run, and you're not to put money down, like, you know what I mean? Just being, like, I don't know. There's a difference between, like, advice through fear and advice through, like, logic. An advice through emotion versus an advice through logic, I should say. Because it can be any emotion that drives the...
I feel it.
Advice.
But see, this is where I get that subjective thing, because, I mean, I understood where you're coming from, but I felt like for me it was different, or maybe the same thing but with different words. Because for me, it was just like I just questioned everything. Like when I was upset and when I was like at the end of it, like end of being upset, I was just like, I'm done being sad. There gotta be something. And then, you know, I started looking inside, like my thoughts and stuff like that. I started doing all that. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, I just started seeing that all these things were not true. The things that I thought were true just wasn't true. And then I was just like, wait a minute. So, okay, so if these things aren't true, then what else isn't true? And I just started breaking it down. And I tried to look at things for what they were. Like it is, like stripping it from its label.
Yeah, that's part of it, I would say.
I just started stripping things from the labels that we created.
The good and bad. Like I feel like that's part of it too. Like once you realize things aren't good and bad.
Yeah.
Nothing is like things are subjective.
Things
everything's subjective.
Things don't really mean anything until we give it meaning.
And the meaning's all dependent on you.
Yeah, so because everybody's gonna have a different perspective. Everybody's gonna have a different experience with all of it. So when I did that and I just started saying that like nothing was it, I was just like, oh, I'm not sad because the kids called me whatever it is. I'm sad because I believed it.
Yeah, literally.
The kids didn't do anything. I was just sad because I believed it. Oh, I believed it for so long.
You listened to whatever they said, now you're upset because you fell into what they thought, because you fell into who they thought you were instead of being
because I cared
yourself.
about what they said. That was really what it was. So how am I mad at you because I cared? You didn't make me care more. I just cared for whatever the reason is. Because they said it a million times, because they're my family members, because they're my friends, because there's some authority figure. That's why you believed it. That's it. But they didn't do anything. They just said it. Or they just did an action. And I was just like, oh, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it. So when I found out that wasn't it, I just started looking at myself and then other people, and I was just like, wait a minute. That's not it. I'd have these thoughts. Bro, I don't know. I learned so much during my little spiritual journey. I learned I learned so much.
I was watching Bro's story today, and he was talking about how, like, because someone asked him that question. They were like, how long is a spiritual journey? And he was like, I feel like a spiritual journey or a spiritual awakening is like a lifetime almost. Because you're constantly being exposed to new experiences.
Yes.
So it's like, you're constantly going to have to be conscious of new things and be like, oh, like...
Especially, like, after you do your whole... And, like, after you start the spiritual thing. I feel like before that, you were kind of in this realm of thinking one way. But now when you don't think one way and it's kind of open, you just hit with a whole bunch of new things. Like, you ever just... Like, different aspects. Like, oh, now, like... Maybe you, like, experience, like, fits of anger and stuff. And, like, a really, like, only in your house. But maybe, like, now when you do your little spiritual awakening, you experience it from a variety of different people now. Just from, like, all types of everything. Like, now I'm experiencing... I don't know. I just feel like maybe you're experiencing more shit than you used to.
Like, seeing things just through another person's perspective? Or, like, feeling for another person?
Yeah, that type of stuff. Okay. You try to see through... I don't know, when people do things, like, okay, now when people do things that upset you, you don't look at it one way anymore. Like, if somebody does something, before you respond, you kind of, like, try to... Instead of just going, oh, I'm mad, you said something, it makes me mad, blah, 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 it would be like, okay, you said something, but, like, why'd you say it? Is it because I actually did something, or something else made you say it? Stuff like that. I just feel like I just feel like that would be everybody's different spiritual awakening. I think it would be different. Because mine just feels different from yours.
I feel that.
I don't know. I guess it was the same at the end of the day. But I don't know. It feels different. And then he was talking about how long it takes. Like you said, the one dude said it takes a lifetime.
Yeah, I definitely think. I kind of agree with that. I don't know. I feel like everyone's different though at the same time. So it's like.
Like the spiritual journey or the awakening?
Both.
I could see the journey, the awakening. I don't know if it was, I don't know if it's a, I guess. I don't know if it's a lifetime. The awakening part of it, it's a lifetime. Yeah, it could be.
You know what I mean?
I guess it could be because...
Well, it could be, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're just always learning, you're going to be exposed to different stuff now, like you said. So now you're going to be learning new stuff all the time.
There's going to be a lot of new things that you're going to have to either try or just kind of fill out before, like, kind of like that situation earlier where, like, you just kind of, like, had to, like, to me, I just had to, like, think about it and fill it out and just really, like, put myself in them shoes or, like, walk through the situation as if it was, like, reality and be like, oh, like, would I really feel good about this afterwards or not?
Kind of how Den said, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, literally, just like that.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? Do I really want to do that? That sounds kind of fun, but do I really want to do that? What comes with that?
Yeah, what comes with it?
Let me think that out.
Do I want that? Do I like that?
I ain't feeling that.
I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
If I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it now.
Because, like, I did, like... I do agree with the like, how do you know if you don't like something if you don't try it?